Here's a Facebook ads CBO campaign that spent $21,000 and brought back almost $100,000 in revenue. And today I'm going to show you how I did this and how you can do the same. I've even made sure to put no YouTube ads in this video whatsoever so that you can just get this value uninterrupted. As we start to dive into this campaign head on, you're probably going to notice that it's a bit less complex than you may have initially expected it to be. And you're right. Because as I've been actively running Facebook ads for the last 4 years, I've been able to really boil down the strategies for success. And at the beginning of this month, I started developing my first ever Facebook ads course with the feedback of advertisers just like yourself. So I've been doing case studies and pouring my soul into videos for this course that's also going to be aided by what I think is more valuable, a private chat and weekly group calls with homework. So on March 1st, it's releasing to the public, but since you're watching this video, I want you to have the ability to get on the VIP list. So I've put a link at the top of the description of this video. It's going to give you two main benefits, being one, you're going to be able to join 48 hours before everyone else gets access to me in the course, and you're going to be able to get it at a slight discount, which is a one-time thing. So now let's roll into these CBO strategies. So now to cover the $1 million topic of the day, how to successfully scale a CBO campaign on Facebook in 2022. So I'm going to break this down into two perspectives here, as value-packed and straight to the point as possible across one, how to scale an existing CBO campaign, and two, how I actually structure and create winning CBOs of my own, similar to the one you saw at the beginning of this video. And I'm going to show you right now 3 simple strategies that you can apply to your existing campaigns that you want to scale. But first things first, before I even get into any button pushing, I always want to make sure that the campaign is profitable overall in the last 7 days. If not, then I'm not going to do it. And secondly, I want to pinpoint why it's working. Is it because of the specific audiences I'm using, or is it these specific creatives are just making the campaign work really well? And then lastly, I decide how aggressive I actually want to scale. So what is your objective? Is it just to spend as much money as possible with still a profitable result, or you're trying to get to 10K a day, 100K a day? What is it? Because then that tells me how aggressive I actually need to be. So strategy number 1 is the audience winner. So if I decide that my current CBO is working right now because of the types of audiences I'm using inside of it, then that tells me there's really 3 things that can fuel the fire and make this continue to get bigger and better, which is money, time, and creatives. Most people will just simply raise the daily budget or duplicate a campaign to try and scale their CBOs, which can work. It's kind of a numbers game at that point, but I prefer to make Facebook a bit more happy. And the way you make Facebook more happy with a CBO is giving it more options on where to divert the daily budget. Facebook's algorithm is very smart. They can make the right decisions. You just have to give them the options to do so. So we know our audiences are working, so we're not going to add more of those, but what we're going to focus on is a 3-day scale period using creatives and budget. So day 1, just off the bat, I want you to raise the budget of this campaign by 25%. You may be trying to wonder, why? How does this work? Why don't you just do this all in one day? And I'm going to tell you why after we go through the 3 days. Day number 2 is I want you to launch a new ad creative and put it under each ad set. So let's say you have 3 ad sets in the CBO with 1 creative under each of them, all being the same. What I want you to do is make a new ad creative and place it under all those ad sets, or just take an existing winning creative you have and put it on there. So now you have more. And then on the 3rd day, I want you to raise that budget by another 25%. So after day 3, your CBO budget has increased by 50%. And the reason I do this over a 3-day period instead of all at once is because I don't want to shock the campaign, especially since it's something that's already working. We don't want to make it just turn unprofitable out of nowhere. And this process isn't always the smoothest, where you're just instantly more and more profitable. It takes a little bit of time. So after I follow this 3-day launch strategy, I let it optimize, and I typically see CBO campaigns yield their results after about 2 to 3 days of running. So after that rest period of it running for a couple more days, I review my decisions and then optimize. So, the situations you're going to be in are either, 1, you're profitable, which is great. Just let it keep running for right now. And option number 2 is you're break even. So if you're break even or kind of on the edge, riding it in between there, I would say overall just give it a couple more days to bake and then come back to this. And then the third option, let's say it's unprofitable. What I would do is set your ad account time frame, when you're looking at your results, to show the results from since you added in those new ad creatives. And then you want to start diving kind of more deeper into the ad sets and the ad creative level itself and seeing where Facebook is spending the money. Because oftentimes there's some type of discrepancy across the creatives, and obviously it's not going to spend the money evenly, but sometimes it'll just spend the majority of the money towards one specific ad creative. And maybe that's the one that's not yielding the profitable results for you. So in that case, you could just turn off the unfavored ad creatives and then just give it a couple more days to bake. And if it's still unprofitable, you can reduce the budget by 25%, essentially just slowly resetting that campaign back to its factory default settings, trying to figure out what in the process may have caused it to become unprofitable. And strategy number 2 is the creative winners. So it's almost identical to strategy number 1, except for the fact that on day 2, instead of launching a new ad creative, you're going to be launching a new ad set inside of that CBO campaign. And inside of that ad set, I want you to put 3 different audiences similar to the ones you already have in that campaign. I don't know what type of campaign it is, but let's say it's some type of lookalikes you already have in there. I want you to make another ad set and stuff 3 lookalike audiences into that new ad set. And the reason why I choose to combine 3 audiences into one ad set for this strategy is because I find that CBOs typically perform better with fewer ad sets and just larger targeting. Now this third strategy, the backyard gambler, it's a little bit more risky. That's why I call it the backyard gambler. I would say that I'm a pretty risky person when it comes down to running these Facebook ads because I like to learn and just be aggressive. But I don't recommend you try this strategy unless your ad account has other campaigns acting as an anchor. So essentially meaning this is risky and you shouldn't do it unless you have other campaigns that are making you consistent sales and profit to the point where if this completely flops, then it's not going to really affect you. So I like to push the boundaries, and essentially what this is doing is putting your CBO on steroids overnight. And that's through 3 different things. 1, increasing the budget. 2, adding new audiences. And 3, adding new creatives. It's almost a simultaneous just combustion of randomness, but at the same time, there's a little bit of beauty to it. But as an example of the backyard gambler, if I had a CBO campaign spending $100 a day with 3 ad sets in it and 1 creative under each ad set, I myself would be a bit aggressive here and probably just take that budget from $100 a day to $300 a day and throw in maybe 2 new ad sets with a bunch of different audiences and 2 new ad creatives under each ad set inside of that campaign. Very random, very aggressive, especially to a campaign that's already working right now. You're kind of pushing the boundaries. But honestly, that's kind of what keeps me excited and motivated when running Facebook ads, because I'm having fun and almost gambling in a way. And now for what I'm sure you've been waiting for, how I actually structure and create my winning CBOs, like the one at the beginning of this video. I'm gonna give you an example of the strategy I call ringing the bull. I put here, I'm saving the rest for the course just because I'm pouring my soul into it right now. I've never made a Facebook ads course, and it's gonna have everything in there. So again, if you wanna get on the VIP list, there's a link in the top of the description if you want to get those benefits only available to the VIPs. This campaign structure for your CBO is just going to be 1 individual campaign with 4 ad sets and 2 ad creatives under each of those ad sets for cold targeting, because we're getting people hooked at the right time. The focus of this strategy is more on the technical setup than the actual audiences themselves. And what we're doing is pretty much just setting up this campaign to target people at specific times and essentially just attempting to ring that bull and get the most profit as possible out of this setup. Because normally with a daily budget, Facebook's going to divert your budget across all times of the day. But right now, we're going to be doing something called day parting, where we're spending money specifically towards times that are known to be more profitable. So step number 1 of the technical campaign setup is to, 1, create a campaign. Go to your ads manager, click create a campaign, and what you're going to do is scroll down and turn on CBO if it's not on already. And where you see the daily budget drop down, I want you to click on that and change it to lifetime budget. And you're going to understand why here in a second. Now in the budget, I want you to make that budget 10 times your list price. So what that means is whatever offer you're running ads for, take the list, the selling price of this product for you, and multiply that by 10. And I want you to set the budget of the lifetime campaign as that number. So if your product you sell for $100, then make this budget $1,000. Even if it's a really high number, don't get scared. It's not going to spend it all super quick. You're going to have control of this, don't worry. And then still on the campaign level, scroll all the way down. You're going to see another drop down that says show more options. So click on that and you're going to see ad scheduling. So click on ad scheduling and then you're going to be able to turn on a little checkbox that says run ads on a schedule. And then click next and you're going to be in the ad set level. So scroll down to a section you're going to see that says budget and schedule, and there's going to be 2 calendar dates on there. And what I want you to do is set the start date to be whatever day it is for you right now, and then the end date to be in exactly 10 days from then. So we're splitting up that 10x list price lifetime budget between 10 days. But the important part of this is that you're going to want to scroll down now in that same budget and schedule section and click show more options. And on there, you're going to select from the drop down, use viewer's time zone, and you're going to see this whole weird looking calendar type thing for a week. And what that allows you to do is actually choose specific times during the day to actually deliver your ads and put it in front of people's faces. So this way, you're going to be spending money only towards the times of day that are known to be more profitable. And there's 2 ways to go about this. If you're an existing advertiser, you already have data, I suggest you go ahead just to your ad account and into your campaigns and start breaking them down by the time of day. And then you're going to be able to find the specific times that are most profitable for you right now, and then just throw those in there into your new CBO campaign for the ringing the bull strategy. But if you're a new advertiser and you don't have any data to break down, then I suggest you go ahead and just select the most popular times of the day for online shoppers, which is known as 3 to 9 p.m. So I would go ahead and just select that for every day of the week to keep it as simple as possible. And to give you a little bit more insight on what type of audiences you should place inside of your ad sets, I recommend doing different types of interests or lookalikes if you already have existing data. And I put right here, focus on value points ads. It's a little bit of a typo there, didn't want to put an S there, but essentially meaning for the ad creatives you're using, since this is cold traffic and your first interaction with people, you want to focus really just on the value points of your offer. Don't be sending them some type of discount or crazy incentive right off the bat, like here's 50% off, because that's going to instantly devalue your offer, your brand, and people are just going to find the offer unattractive. So as soon as you have all the button pushing done and the campaign's fully put together, go ahead and publish it and start to see what's happening and make adjustments as needed. But come back here to this video and comment, let me know how it worked for you or if there's any specific questions you have. And just one more time, I want to remind you that you still have the chance to get on the VIP list for the Facebook ads course right now, which is going to be at the top of the link in the description. So that's what I have for scaling a CBO successfully with Facebook ads in 2022. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.